Talking about it on Show Baby
Yo,
TV.
listen, the thugs need it. Hoes gonna use it.
Make sure you
I'm
go
just
like
young
and subscribe to the channel if you like what's going on, if you like all the hip-hop and the sports news, and you like everything that Shay Baby's bringing to the table. Make sure you like and subscribe. You already know the vibes.
Shay Baby.
The judge said, no, we're not doing it. I wrote here that they want Jane Doe to get dragged online. You know what I'm saying? People, I feel like the defense wants her out and they want to expose her and make her look crazy. Because as of right now, people are guessing who she is, but it's no confirmation. And her picture is nowhere attached to any salacious tabloids in mainstream press. So as of right now, you can guesstimate who she is, but unless you're sitting in that courtroom, you don't know who Jane Doe is. And I think she wants to keep it that way. So they want to add more pressure to her. That's kind of what I got. I wrote they wanted more pressure. They wanted to crack. Now, the prosecution was saying, you know, this is not a good idea. I feel like the defense is just trying to use her to be attacked by the public. They want her to be beat up online and attacked by the public. And so this is why there's no reason for her identity to be exposed. Ultimately, they're not going to expose the identity of Jane Doe. Thank God she's getting off the stand. Jane Doe was up there making it up today. They said she was crashing out and crying, okay? And we found out that she was showing her yitties. So let's just get into it, okay? So this is day 4, and I think this is maybe day 2 of the cross-examination with Teeny Garagos, okay? So we just jump right into it, all right? So we jump right into the portable TV screen that Jane Doe bought Diddy for the movie night. So the idea here is this, girl, you were in, it's the same story. It was very redundant today for the most part. The newest piece was the Kanye West piece, but the idea is this still. They're still trying to paint the picture here that this is not trafficking by fraud. You were not, where is the trafficking charge here with Jane Doe? Where is the coercion? You were a willing participant. You bought the TV for Diddy for the movie nights, because you guys would go and look at your freak off videos together. So it's like, if you hate those so much, why would you buy a TV that you can pull around the house and look at you get dug out by 4 or 5 different men on a coke binge?
Damn!
And so we get into text messages from December 2023. Jane Doe to Diddy. You only reached out to me while you were waiting for someone else to come over. I pray for us. I want our friendship to last a lifetime. I poured my heart out. I cared about you. They said you would be more than vocal and open about your feelings, and she would say yes. Towards the end, I was more vocal. We were more vocal. We were in a good place. 2023, the end was a really emotional time frame for me. The relationship was just going downhill so bad. You know, it was just so sad. It was so overwhelming for her in 2023. I really hit a wall, Jane Doe says. I was depressed and upset when I found out that Cassie went through the same things that I went through. She broke up with Diddy in October of 2023, but the Cassie lawsuit hit in November 2023. Okay, so a month later, the Cassie lawsuit hit. But then Jane Doe's energy changed because she was going through, they feel like she was going through that Cassie lawsuit, and she was starting to get a little bit stronger. She was starting to get a little bit more unhinged. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Objection, Your Honor, because when she was being asked questions, the prosecution said, may I ask the witness can answer the questions? Because Teeny Garagos was kind of interrupting her. And Teeny fired back and said, may I ask the witness just answer the question? And everybody was like, ooh. Because she was kind of dancing around the question. So the prosecution said, may I ask? Could the witness finish answering the question? And Teeny said, may I ask? Could the witness finish the question? Like, answer my question. Don't answer to everybody else's question and don't give me your answer. I'm tired of that hoe. That's kind of what that was given. So then we get into an audio message where Diddy was saying, We should focus on what can make you feel better. What can I give you? I don't want to be in this situation, like what can I give you?
Shout out to Dollar
This is
Scholar. Hit them
2023.
like buttons. That's a fact. Shit, baby.
I don't want any more loose ends. Diddy, she says that Diddy became more humble. He became more present after the Cassie lawsuit. He became more available. They would never fight. They didn't do a lot of violence anyway. There was not a lot of violence in their relationship. But she felt like during that time, Diddy kind of changed his tune towards her, and he was more present in their relationship. Later in December, a week later, December 27, 2023, Diddy says, "What's the solution? I don't want to fight. I want to move on. Jane, I tolerated and did myself for you. Never degraded you. I took a lot for you, and it took a lot from me to make you happy. I feel exploited." So Diddy was saying, charge me for what you need. What is so remember the charge? And she said that she needed $100,000 plus $450,000 to get rid of the resentment, plus the 2 year lease for her housing. And that's when Diddy fired back with a quick fuck you, because she had set out her demands, and Diddy said, "Bitch, fuck you." But my thing is, when you gonna ask me for, charge me, and she lays it out, I need $100,000 for this, I need $450,000 for that, I need $250 for that, and I need a 2-year lease agreement. Diddy said, "Nigga, fuck you." But you done said, "What's the solution?" When she gave you the solution, you told her to go fuck herself. So, I don't know how that went. But here's the thing. The problem lied in the fact that she started crashing out after she saw the lawsuit. She was cool. But then when she read what Cassie had went through, and some people are thinking the amount of money that, we were thinking Cassie was getting, and how quickly Diddy settled the payment. Remember, Cassie filed on the 16th. It was settled on the 17th. Now we come to find out he settled with $20 million. Jane Doe was sitting back reading this and saying, "God, man, all that whole little ploy of Diddy is doing good, Diddy." No. Once she read that lawsuit, Jane Doe started running in the walls, bumping her head in the stoves and shit. You know what I mean? She herself upside the head, frantic and manic and depressed. She just started crashing the fuck out. And Diddy was like, "Well, wait a minute. What happened?" And she like, "I feel exploited. I'm tormented. You pick me up." She's crashing out. She's pulling her hair out, running around, looking crazy. She's sending long text messages. She's distraught now. But is she? Or did she see an opportunity to say, "You know what? This motherfucker Cassie came up in her lawsuit, and I'm sitting here freaked out and got the same sores and UTIs, but no cash.
Damn.
I'm getting $10,000 a month, asking for $100,000, and getting told fuck you over $450. And this got 20 million in 24 hours?
Crazy.
Nigga, is you serious?" Oh, I gotta up the ante.
Yeah.
And to me, that's why she went and slammed his head on the ground and made him hit her. It's no excuse, but I'm just saying. I mean, we talking. So we're gonna keep getting into it. So this is the defense. One of your friends said you set the tone for the relationship. What did you expect? Is that true? Jane Doe?
Smash them likes.
Sounds about right. So you had your friends telling you, "Well, girl, you set the tone." I could have told you that. Stevie Wonder could have told you that. You got out the first day you met him.
Smash them like buttons. The new people popping up.
Your
Smash
friend,
them likes.
and you couldn't keep your pussy in your pants. You couldn't keep your BBL tucked in. And so you let Diddy hit it. You let Diddy hit it. and you let them freak you out because you thought that's where the money was at. The money didn't reside in the freak out, in the freak off. Well, it did if you was the niggas. You see what I'm saying? But for you, you was just the vessel and a hole.
Damn.
Now, they also showed that she was a little bit money hungry because she ended up taking a trip when she was not dealing with Diddy anymore. She took a trip to Paris with her girlfriends, had a great time. And she made a joke and said, now all I need is a Saudi prince. Isn't that true? She said, true. So the relevance of that is, okay, you're the type of girl that looks after men with power and money. So let's not act like you weren't with the freak off. You were with the freak off. You just weren't with the freak off when you felt like there was other girls getting more money than you. You didn't like Young Miami because she felt like she was getting more money than you. You didn't like Gina because you felt like she was getting more money than you. And then you crashed out when Cassie did her lawsuit and you felt like her situation resembled yours and she settled for millions of dollars the next day. So Gina's thinking, at least what I'm thinking, she's thinking, is where is my money?
Crazy.
This is not about love. Why are these other hoes getting the payday that I been getting for? This is where it gets interesting. So they go over the Las Vegas story. Okay. The Las Vegas rapper, there was a Las Vegas trip.
Okay, let's stop it right there real quick. I think this is where Diddy was saying, yeah, I want to know who these rappers' names are. Because they blew Diddy the fuck up. Pause. Listen to this.
Where a rapper and his girlfriend were. Apparently, she got flown out. Now, she lied about the story. She kind of said that she was with her friend, and then the rapper and the girlfriend invited her out. But now it feels like you got flown out with your homegirl. I think she was trying to say that she got flown out with her homeboy, but I feel like she got flew out with her homegirl for a freak off. But the defense was so messy because they were saying, so this rapper, he's the top of the on the top of the music industry. You went to Vegas with a friend. This rapper is an icon. He's in the music industry. You went to the party with him, right? He's also, he's really good friends with Diddy. He's been in the studio with Diddy. And he's a very powerful person. That's not too many people. So people immediately started feeling like, is it Kanye West? Is it Jay-Z? Now here, we don't know. We don't know. We do not know. So we're not confirming anything. But everybody started feeling like it was Kanye West and Bianca Sensory in Las Vegas that flew her out. And when she walked in that hotel room, there was a freak off happening. It's not that many niggas, but we can't say that it was Kanye, but that's the word on the curb. So they said, explain what you did that night. They said, well, it was a dinner strip club. Anton was they went to dinner, they went to a strip club, then they came back to the hotel room. Anton was that was one of the escorts that would bang her with Diddy at the freak off. They said, well, what was everybody else doing? Was everyone watching? Were people laughing, talking, making jokes? Was it just what was it? She said, everyone was watching. What hotel was it? It was at the Encore. Everyone was just sitting and watching while Anton was king. And this is where it gets interesting. We find out now that the rapper was flirting with her while there were other people in the room. Nothing happened, apparently, just flirting. But then, this is the part that she left out in the testimony with the prosecution. 2-3 days ago when we talked about this. So let me tell you, So she was dancing. Mind you, she's only supposed to have been there for 20 minutes. So she's dancing. He's flirting with her at the freak off. And out of nowhere,
shout out to Sean Jenkins getting involved. I
she
see
flashes her. They said,
all right, so let's pause
so
this for a second. So we're saying that Jane Doe is 50 Cent baby mother. This is what Amon is saying, right, Michelle? So we got Jane Doe's 50 Cent's baby mother. So that we discovered that today. And the couple was Bianca and Kanye West, because Sean Jenkins saying they were out there in Vegas for her birthday in 2023, right, Sean? That's what it is. So we discovered who the triangle is. The triangle is 50 Cent baby mother, Kanye West, and Bianca. But then they're saying, hold on, Sean Jenkins, that the rapper's from Vegas. So I don't even know what I'm confused a little bit. I understand Kanye and Bianca's involved. I plead the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Allegedly. That's a fact. All right, so let's go with that, Michelle. We're going to run with that for now, allegedly.
And you flashed her keys to the room? She said, yes. Hold on.
Diddy was trying to
you
be
didn't
Hugh
want to be
Hefner.
there.
It's
This
crazy.
was a freak off. But you somehow just Vegas. They said, why did you flash your keys? She said,
smash them likes.
I don't
Smash
know.
them
I
likes.
was just in the moment.
Oh, Lord.
So just
oh, Lord. Black from the 3. He said Usher was a resident of Vegas at that time. But Usher's not a rapper. That's the only thing. But they could be trying to throw us off with that. It's crazy.
You were so far in the moment, you pulled a titty out, but you didn't do nothing. You flew all the way to Vegas, and you're a freak off girl, but you didn't do nothing. On top of that, watch this. The rapper asked you, do you know anybody else that's a part of the lifestyle? I guess the freak off, the swinger lifestyle. And guess what she did? Pulled out her phone and made a referral. Yes, Sly Diggler, Cabral, suggested that he'd be perfect for the freak off.
Wow.
So let me get this straight. I just want y'all to hear what I'm hearing. You fly to Vegas to go to a strip club with your girlfriend or your friend to go be with a powerful rapper and his girlfriend. You go to the bowling alley, you go to the bar, then you go and get invited to the hotel. You don't know what's going on, but it's 8 people in there and a freak off. And the escort that you and Diddy before. The rapper's flirting with you, so wait, his girlfriend is with it.
He's saying this
the rapper's
Usher.
flirted with you. Anton is getting, you flash your teeth, and then they ask you, do you got another friend that can come and do the freak off, and you make a suggestion. But yet, Diddy is not even there. So now you're at another rapper's freak off. And from what we know about you, you only go for the highest profile men. And it's not that many high profile, powerful, black male rappers.
Think about it. He's right. She's 50 Cent baby mother. Mess with Diddy and Yeezy. Those are billionaires. These are billionaires. So he's kind of right there.
But yet, you were so traumatized and tormented by Diddy and his freak offs, but you fly from California to Vegas to go to another rapper's freak off. And then you make a suggestion on who else could join. Oh, okay. So they said, well, how did he
That's
know
a fact, Michelle.
to ask you who would be
She's
a good
definitely
pick
Delulu.
or a good choice for the freak off? Well, I don't know. It maybe been the energy I give off, or maybe, I don't know, maybe he had heard maybe what me and Sean did, or I don't know. You don't know. No, ho. You know. You're part of that lifestyle. You're a pro freak off. You're a pro freak off. So
pro freak off.
then they get into
That's nasty work.
Then we fly back down to Miami. It was her birthday at 1 Star next door to Diddy's house. He owns 2 Star and 1 Star. She talks about how he put on a 5-star dinner for her, how it was just fabulous. They had a great time. But remember, she didn't want to do a freak off that day. But they were drinking. He was drinking. It was so good. She was so happy. And then, she took a pill. And then Don came over and they had a freak off.
Damn. That's crazy.
So they said, do you remember telling me you were willing to have with Don? You were willing to do the freak off. This is what the defense says, Diddy's team. Do you remember telling me you were willing to do the freak off with Don because Diddy had gave you everything you wanted? She said, yeah. But she tried to make it seem like she was just so high. It was the time of the night. No, girl, you got what you wanted. So that was his prize. So you told the defense that. So you were willing to do it because you felt like he finally gave you some attention. You got to be the girl at 1 Star. He gave you the 5-star dinner and he made you feel like the queen. You felt like the main girl. And you could, brag about it. You got a rich nigga. You a hoe to a housewife. Okay. So then we continue on with the text messages. Hold on, please.
This is crazy.
Hey, P. Hope you're well. Is it still your number? P stands for Paul. You guys remember Paul? Paul was the escort that was Diddy's personal trainer.
Diddy's?
So Diddy would go to the gym with Paul, get all sweaty and funky, get turned on by Paul's balls, and then want to see them bang Jane.
That's crazy.
That's the same Paul that Jane took the liquid Molly and rolled him into the abyss.
Wow. Yo.
Paul texts back, no, LOL, in a flirtatious manner. Jane says, do you have plans for the Valentine's Day weekend? So she was trying to set up a freak off with Paul. The government says, do you remember the defense said, do you remember telling the government that you were looking forward to Paul and you would be so high, but you will be willing to see Paul? Yes, I think so.
It's crazy.
October 21, 2023, after Cassie's lawsuit, do you remember you felt more love and changes from Diddy? You saw more positive change. She said he listened better. He spent more time at home. She spent more time on the phone. He would FaceTime me often. That was really important to you, huh? She said yes. Less people were around after the lawsuit. But you guys would still be getting high, huh?
Damn.
You would be getting high. Yeah, we would still be getting high. But the thing is, you got upset because Diddy was still claiming to be single and
Get her ass out of
polyamorous.
here, Michelle.
And that hurt you, didn't it? Yes. But the lawsuit, he started to claim you more.
Mary Floyd was good.
He was more lovely, right? It made you feel like you were in a relationship. When Diddy would be getting too high, you would check on him, make sure he was at his doctor's appointments, make sure he was eating good. Yes, yes. You were with him. You guys actually got back together. And she said, yes, and you were willing to hold him down. Yes. Diddy never laid a hand on you, huh? No. She said she was shocked. This one I was gagging because I felt like, is
Shout
she
out to
holding
Mississippi.
something back?
Log was good.
She said she was shocked when she saw the Intercontinental video of Cassie being drugged and flung, because Diddy would never do anything like that. She never saw that side of him.
That's a fact, Black.
Your
from the
friend
train.
said that you can't be with him after that, huh? Because of the public and the public
Good look,
perception.
Edison.
She said yes. But you really wanted to be with him, huh? She said yes. And I wrote this because I feel like she dropped the ball, because she could have literally ended her cross-examination if she would have just said,
That's a
if
fact,
he wasn't
baby
on the
love.
trial right now, you would still be with him. Huh? Correct? And at that point, I feel like that woman would have said, yes. And I would have said, and I rest my case. Because, girl, you would still be with him today. So there is no coercion.
Good look, Black. We rocking.
There is no fraud. Where is the coercion? Where is the fraud when you were still staying? The only reason why you left is because he got locked up.
It's crazy.
You continue to go back because you didn't care about the freak off. You were going to other people's freak offs. You didn't care about coercion. You were setting them up. You were buying TVs so you guys can get into your freaky weirdos and freaky weirdness. And then let's be clear. Diddy wasn't punching you and dragging you. This is different from Cassie. When Cassie tried to leave, he snatched her, drop kicked her, and dragged her. He kidnapped her and coerced her. He burned down Kid Cudi's car. To you, he said, go. Maybe he said, we'll break up or I won't pay your rent. But you didn't care about that. You wanted more money. And then when you did break up with him, you went to another rapper's freak off.
That's crazy.
So you were, and then when you were there, you were showing your titties. Are we, what?
That's crazy.
So, how are you forced to doing a freak off, but you ended up at the freak off party without Diddy in Las Vegas with another rapper? And not only did she go, she suggested other escorts that were into the lifestyle. Then you were there flashing your boobs.
Good looks, Edison.
But you were in the moment. I wrote, she's a joke. So now they get into the attack that she did on Diddy. So apparently, when she was in Miami, or no, Diddy was at her house in LA, she was upset because she felt like Diddy had went on vacation without her. But she had no proof that Diddy was on the trip before she attacked Diddy. The girl lived in Miami. Diddy lived in Miami, so he could potentially spend more time with her. And it bothered Jane Doe. You were upset that he left you in LA and he could have taken you, huh? Well, I wasn't upset that he left me. I just feel like he lied. I was resentful. It was just a ball of emotions. That's what she said. Have you ever hit Diddy before? No. You got to get into this. Listen to this very closely. Have you ever hit Diddy before? No. So you have never gotten into a physical fight with him? No. But you did a medium to hard push on his head, huh? Yeah. You threw candles? Yes. You threw glass? Yes. I had a lot of resentment. So when you were throwing the glass around the house, you were calling him a pedo. You were calling him disgusting. You said he was a monster. You yelled a flagrant of obscenities at Diddy, right? She said yes. They said, well, what did Diddy do? Diddy would just run through the house and say, "Bitch, you're crazy. Bitch, you are crazy. She's crazy." And she was running through the house. Motherfucker!
Oh, yeah, she got to go. Yeah, you got to go doing all that.
Then she went in the bathroom and locked herself in the bathroom. Diddy then came in and said, "Hey, I just want to talk to you." Correct? She said, yeah. She was saying that Diddy said, you're not gonna not talk to me, just talk to me. But here's the hot tea. At this point, they asked, you knew the Cassie video was released from the Intercontinental, huh? So you saw how he hit her. She said, I was saying I just wanted him to leave. But you did see that video. She said, yeah. And he was trying to talk to you, right? That's it. Yes. So you guys were arguing and arguing. Eventually, he kicked the door open, right? Yes. But then you ran and then he kicked her. That's when he kicked her. But she was still yelling, "You're mother in this. You ain't
Harlem Romeo, what's good, my
you
boy?
pedo. Shit monster mother." So as she was trying to get away, because she had already hit him through glass and punched him, Diddy then tripped her on the ground, tripped her and grabbed her and put her in a chokehold.
Damn, Diddy.
So that's what they said. They said, so when you got out the bathroom, you tried to run, and that's when he kicked you and you tripped and he put you in the chokehold. So Diddy tripped her, she fell, and then he grabbed her and lifted her up. And she said her tippy toes were the only thing on the ground. So you know how, imagine you get choked up and you got your tippy toes, you're fighting for your life. Now they said you testified that you slipped out of that and you couldn't breathe. But do you remember telling the prosecution that you almost couldn't breathe? She said, yes. Then after that, you went and punched him, right? In the back of the head. And then that's when he came out and he punched you back. And you guys were just fighting. And then you ran, and then he was telling you that he had kids and you were trying to, ruin his life. She said, but yeah, at this point he was punching and kicking me, saying it. So he was telling her, bitch, I got 7 kids. Why the fuck would you try to ruin me, you stupid fucking bitch? Are you crazy, you dumbass bitch? And she was sitting there. So that's what he was doing. While he was telling her, I have 7 kids to live for. So for each kid, he hit her with an uppercut and a kick. It was about 7 times. So do you remember in direct you pointed out, you started talking about, do you remember on direct, you didn't start talking about the patio incident until you grabbed Diddy's phone? And so I'm not really sure what they were trying to say about that. I'm thinking it was because she grabbed Diddy's phone and called the other girl. And then the girl was cursing at her, Diddy, then they were fighting again. It was just a lot going on. After lunch, she called Diddy a son of a B. You a B, you a motherfucker. Then she slapped Diddy in the face 3 times. So that's when she was in the shower. Remember, I told you she was in the shower bathing, and Diddy appeared and started smacking it out of her.
Damn.
Well, here's what we found out. She was in the shower bathing, yelling, "You son of a B! You ain't you stupid motherfucker! You motherfucker!
What?
You dumb motherfucker!" From the shower. So Diddy said, "Be what?" And she in the shower, "Yeah, mother you," because she thought she was safe in the shower because she was in the shower. So he wouldn't hit me because I'm in the shower. And so she said, "Yeah, you a stupid mother. You ain't shit, mother. You a bitch." Nigga. And Diddy said, "You know what? Just shut up." And slapped the shit out of her while she was in the shower because she thought she was safe underwater. Little did she know the water wasn't going to save her. Okay?
Okay.
That was a slip and splash.
Slip and splash. Damn, Diddy. They trying to kill Diddy out there, man.
And she put on the outfit and she texts Anton.
Smash them lights. You heard Nishi, sexy behind you.
She didn't tell him. And then, you know, she ended up sucking Anton. She said she was trying to hide her. She was trying to hide her wounds. She put on
Diddy
makeup.
Dukes.
And after all was said and done, she went and shucked it.
Yeah,
She ended the night shucking
yeah,
it.
Michelle. He had the poo-poos on.
Okay?
Yeah,
She didn't tell Diddy about flashing her titties either. But once he found out, he was upset and he said, "How can you go to another man's freak off?" And so
yo, son.
that's when it was it for me. Now,
Diddy Dukes is hilarious.
through the day, though, this is where the Kanye piece comes in. And we're going to bring up Emily in a couple of seconds.
Diddy Dukes.
So there was a really long sidebar today. It was about 30 to 40 minutes. And no one could figure out what this was. But everybody was like, this is longer than usual. And so after we went to lunch where everyone was talking, there were some people thinking that they had an exclusive. Shout out to him. Shout out to them. They were acting like they didn't want to say, "Oh, I got an exclusive. I got an exclusive." But everybody had the same information or was hearing stuff. But it's just so funny when the reporters, you know, they're like, I got something. I'm just like, girl, everybody's going to, by the time we all leave here, we're going to hear what this is. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
So word of the curb is Kanye West was either set to appear in court, not on the stand, but he was showing up in solitude for Diddy. Now, it's important to note that a guy named Bear has been popping up too. Bear is a guy that I guess got some money, is in the industry too. He randomly gave $9,000 to Jane Doe. Diddy didn't like that either. People are assuming that Bear could be Kanye. We don't know. But here's what we're hearing. What we're hearing is Kanye West showed up. I don't think Bianca showed up. Kanye West allegedly, we cannot confirm this. I did do my research, you know, and what I got back was I can't confirm Bianca showed up. But Kanye, I'm about 80% sure Kanye was in the building. It was a long pause. So apparently Kanye came, but the only thing is there was no footage. Nobody caught the cameras. Nobody was able to see him. That's why I'm like, and I feel like Kanye West would have at least made a media moment. So I don't know. But apparently Word on the curb is Kanye came to the courtroom to come inside the court, but got stopped at the door because Jane Doe was still on the stand. And he was going to go sit in support of Diddy. But why would you come today on the last day? They said Kanye flew into New York last night. So you're going to come and sit for Diddy. So you know Jane Doe, Kanye, because this is a very interesting. If he did come, it's the irony for me that you're here on this day and there's a freak off in Las Vegas with your girl, with a famous, powerful, iconic rapper and his girlfriend. And then somehow Kanye West appears at court today. So, but here to help us break this down, we have our girl Emily Knows Best. It's important to note that she runs the Kanye West Post Instagram page, okay? She is a Kanye West Archive Instagram channel, okay? An Instagram page. So she's been doing this for a long time. She knows everything Kanye. She is the Kanye expert. And because I had to go to court, I had to go get a haircut today. Oh, before we, she's going to help us break down the rest of what's going on. So let me bring Emily in right now.
Now, I'm gonna lie.
Hey, Emily.
This is a lot. I've been researching this whole time, and I found some stuff for you. 100% sure it's Kanye and Bianca, and I have the dates right here, and I've got some photos.
Okay, so tell us what's going on. So you are a Kanye West connoisseur. So you know everything Kanye, and you have the Kanye blog.
Well, that's how I found you, because you were posting once upon a time. I had posted you a few years ago, but I'll say this. It all started yesterday when Kanye, yay, but now his name is Ye Ye, but now his name isn't Ye Ye, so we'll just call him Kanye. He posted a photo with a fan wearing a sweatshirt that said cuck. And if you remember, 2 days ago, the testimony, she says to Jane Doe, can you tell the courtroom what is a cuck? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And then Kanye, after that, and the news broke about that, he's seen wearing a cuck hoodie, but it was obviously already made, and he already made an album called Cuck. He said before, Diddy is his twin. They've had their moments where they get along, they're not good, but he's been supporting Diddy since Super Bowl Sunday. You remember when he posted and he sold that sweatshirt that Cassie was wearing in the hallway video, the one where Diddy was beating the shit out of her? And
well, don't curse, Emily, but yes.
Oh, she was wearing a Kanye hoodie. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So he sold that, and everyone was pissed because they were like, how can you be wearing a hoodie when an assault hoodie, basically exploiting Cassie's trauma?
Where can we find the cuck post from Kanye? Is it on your page?
I got it. Yeah, I got
it. So let us go
to
your page. Okay, so we're gonna take a trip, but you can keep talking.
Sadly, it's private.
Oh, you took it off.
It's a private account right now because
Okay.
But here's where it gets interesting. So last night I got a text from somebody close to Ye saying Ye wants to come support Diddy tomorrow at court, and I was like, oh Jesus, this is gonna be insane. So this morning when I got there, I thought I had the exclusive. And then, so you know what I did, Armand? I told the line sitters.
Oh.
I told Candy, the one that got kicked out the court, I said, I got a secret. And she goes, I won't tell anyone. And I go, I need you to be on the curb today, and you need to be looking out for Kanye. And she goes, oh, hallelujah. So she starts celebrating. Then I tell the bearded one who also got kicked out. I go, because those two are going to stay on the curb all day. So I knew they could clock him if he decided to come in, because I wanted to get in the courtroom. So I get into court, and then there's whispers going on between some of Diddy's family. And I wrote a note in my notebook where I asked somebody, Kanye coming, ? And they said, yeah, today or tomorrow. And I was like, oh, okay. So is he going to sit? I'm like, is he testifying, or is he going to sit in the same row as friends and family? And they said friends and family. So I was like, this is weird. But also, when the Shade Room interviewed me a week ago, they said, who should come to court? And I said, Ye as a joke. Because he said he hits women. He does freak offs. He said everything Diddy does, he does. So I was like, he'd be a perfect person to be up there naming names.
But somehow he didn't make it into the courtroom.
Well, that's where it gets weird, because we took that sidebar and all of a sudden, for the first time, we see all the security guards were on their phones. Like, we never see that. So everybody started saying that he showed up in a car and that he was arranging it with Justin. That's what I was told.
Okay.
But
Justin, which is Diddy's son.
Yeah, because if you remember, Ye adopted Diddy's sons on Super Bowl Sunday and said, like, he's going to be their dad. And Diddy made that phone call. Remember, Ye put Diddy on a track with Northwest? So in that phone call, Diddy thanks Ye for taking care of his sons while he's locked up. So Ye's been in touch with Diddy's kids for a while. So I went out there to make sure, because I said to the one guy, I said, is he here or what? And he goes, I think he's going to pull up with the kids. So I left the courtroom and the van pulled up and they all got out and Ye wasn't with them. So I was like, well, he's not coming. But then this guy from Hip Hop Canada told me that he swears to God he has a source and that Ye showed up and that the prosecution stopped him and barred him from coming in because it was witness intimidation, because he was the one at the freak off and he was going to sit there and then that was going to make Jane Doe cry and freak her out.
Okay, now let's get into
crazy.
that. Do we think that Kanye and Bianca were the rapper and girlfriend at the Las Vegas freak off that Jane Doe attended?
All right, let me give you some dates.
Okay. Break it down for us.
The second I heard the date, Jane Doe exposed Kanye and Bianca today. Let's be honest. She said it was a January 2024 birthday party, and my mind went, oh, well, whose birthday is January 5th? Bianca Sensori. Okay. Who is in Vegas on January 7th and 8th, 2024? Kanye and Bianca, because I remember that clip that it was Bianca shaking her boobs around, you remember? And she had that little mesh top and she was going like this and blowing out the candles, and I was like, oh, and then Kanye was just sitting there like this, kind of like doped out. So I remember that clip, and I remember there was friends at this dinner. Then I remember the internet went wild because they posted all these photos of Bianca and Black Angel Wings at a strip club, and I've got the picture right here for you guys.
Is it on your Instagram? Oh, there it is.
So this gave it away because she said they went to dinner and then they went to a strip club and then they went to a hotel.
And what's the date on that?
January 7th and 8th, 2024. So they were Bianca birthday January. That's why I was like, it's not Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
They're home. They're home. They're not freaking off. So then she said, Tenny or the prosecution said, what hotel was it? And she said the Encore. Well, if you remember, the dinner was at the Wynn, which is right next to the Encore in Vegas. So they had dinner at the Wynn, and then Bianca was walking around boobs out and barefoot. Do you remember that?
I don't remember, but we can probably pull it up.
It's right here.
It's right here.
She got a lot of heat. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Now, is she naked?
Here she is.
If she's naked, don't show it.
No, no, it's like this one. Remember that?
Okay, yes. That's in Vegas.
Yes, this was at the Wynn Hotel, and then it was a huge drama because the Wynn was
crazy
freaking out, saying they had to make a statement saying, like, we don't support public nudity. So this was a big thing. So I feel like Jane Doe really gave it away. Also, I've been told when Ye throws hotel parties, women take their shirts off and shake their tits.
Oh.
It's a common thing. So Jane probably just was doing it with all the rest of them.
And can I just say this? It makes so much sense because the way that he parades Bianca around, it's almost like this is the doll that you guys get. She's just like Jane Doe.
But she's not complaining.
No, but she's not complaining, but she's a cuckolder, or Kanye's a cuckolder, and then Bianca gets out. And that's why he has her dressed like that. It's like almost a secret societal message of saying, we're with it. You
Yeah.
this is my
Posted he's a
girlfriend,
cock.
and you
We're
her,
with it.
and I
Yeah.
watch.
No,
Yeah.
he's right.
Ye posted he's a cock. He said it feels so good to get this off my chest. I'm a cock. And then he just released an album called Cock.
That's crazy.
So
Really?
when I found out Diddy was in the corner with the bandana, I was like, well, he's no different than Ye. He's already doing it too.
Pull up the Kanye album. Let me see
Shit,
what it says.
baby.
Well, because it's called Cock.
That's very,
Yeah, right here. Studio album by Kanye West.
and when did that come out?
Like a month ago.
Okay, you can't say that.
A month ago.
Media personality DJ Academic
That's crazy.
announced the album after they did their interview. So yeah, I definitely think it was then. I mean, also, Ye apparently, if it is him, went up to Jane Doe and said, "I think you're beautiful. I've always wanted to F you."
Damn.
I believe that because I believe Bianca. I'm just looking at the way that she dresses. That is a signal of saying what men are interested in banging her, and we know that. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, and we know that Kanye, without saying the words, but he's got that Donda freak off thing that he's entertainment company he's trying to do. And then Kanye, everything has been super sexualized with Kanye, with saying that he sucked his cousin off and he had a corn addiction. And